Hello, my lovely duckies, and welcome to the Boneyard. And as always, I am your host, Caster. And we are back again discussing the final episode of Season 2 of ReZero, Episode 12. And before we get into the discussion and recap, duckies, I would like to say one thing. For all those who have stuck by me for these past 12 episodes, 12 weeks, 2.5 months, I would like to say thank you, humbly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for staying with me and discussing this week to week with me. It is truly humbling to know that you stayed here the entire time. Whether you've only watched one episode or you watched the entire thing, I just simply say thank you. This is the first time that I've done anything like this, and it's just great to know that there's people out there who are interested in what I do. At the time of this video, this is a very, very small channel, and it may well be for the longest time. So, to get anything from like 30 to 40 views on a video, I find ecstatic. I know that's like nothing to some other YouTubers, but for me, I get excited. And I thank you all. I just can't say it enough. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And now, let's get on with the recap and discussion. So, well, Subaru bleeds out, and he returns back from death. And he finds himself next to Amelia, which this time she doesn't want to wake up crying. And we go back to the cabin where everybody is discussing everything again. We've seen it over and over and over again. But he knows that Roswell knows that he can keep time leaping, but may not know that he can do like he has to die to do it. So he's like, I need to talk to Roswell, but Subaru decides that he's going to do the trial because that has to be done to free the people of the sanctuary. So he gets ready to start the trial, and he calls out to Echidna, the Witch of Greed, to start the trial. And we hear Subaru's own voice saying to, behold the present. And yeah, we get something that I had talked about in a previous episode, and it was interesting to see how that played out. I had once mentioned that, because Subaru sometimes will just commit suicide to get to, a starting point. And, yeah, we see how that normal timeline plays on, with his death. And we see him lying next to Rin when the first episode where he took his life and he stabbed himself through the throat. We see him lying there, and everybody's confused about why he would commit suicide. And of course, Amelia, she's crying her eyes out, and they're trying to heal him. And Subaru, he can see this. It's like, an out-of-body experience, I guess. We only hear his narration, what's going on. And so I'm thinking, now this is what I thought at first, initially, that they were going to heal him, and he was going to come back. Because we see, them doing healing magic on his throat, and it's, closing the wound. And I thought, well, wouldn't that be kind of a crazy concept, that someone could actually pull him back, So that's what I thought was going to happen was, this only happened for a second, though. I thought this is what was going to happen. Whereas that they would pull him back even further. Force him back to that, part. And from there he could, try to strategize a little better. And, but that's not what happens. Because they said that his soul's already left his body. And so then he returns back to the trial room. And he pukes his guts out. Because he's just like, what the hell was that? And then we hear Subaru, his voice again, saying, behold the prison. And we see another moment. And this is what happens, is we see over and over different, I guess, more notable deaths of his. And what the timeline would have looked like, as it had gone on. And it's quite interesting, really. We see the one time that he had jumped off the cliffs and landed to his death. And they're just like, well, what the hell was that all about, That seems to be what a lot of these are. We see the one where Puck kills him, freezes him to death. When the witch's cult took over, and we see like I forget his name, and I didn't even bother looking it up. I know, I'm sorry. The redheaded knight from season one who like saved them from Elsa the first time we ever met her. He shows up to basically kill Puck, and I believe he does. Like he does some kind of attack, and you see like Puck kind of like fade in the light, like they do in anime. And so this guy would destroy Puck because Puck was like, I'm going to destroy the world. So he becomes a villain. And we just see different ones like where Rim first kills him. She's like justifying, saying that how he was suspicious and everything. And this is way this way things are all this complicated. And each time he wakes up and he's just going crazy. So finally he gets he realizes that this is the trial. So he goes to he gets teleported to the witch to her little tea party. And I'm gonna skip over a lot of this because this is where the bulk of the episode happens. But oh man, oh man, oh man. Basically, Echidna is trying to get him to sign a contract with her. Basically saying that like her power will be his power, and that she could lead him with all her knowledge that she has. She could lead him to the best possible solution. And of course, she'll share in his return from death ability, which she'll be with him. And I'm like, I don't like the sound of that. I'm sitting there thinking like that's what she's after. And I think that's what it is. She's after that ability because later on she goes on this grandiose speech about how how it's like a really awesome ability. You could just pretty much find the solution to anything, and you can just you accumulate all the wisdom. So, but uh, but as she's telling him about the how to go about the contract, the one by one the other witches show up, and they're pretty much telling Subaru like, "Hey, don't do it." She's trying to trick you, and or she's not telling you the whole truth. It was basically she wants all of him. I mean, hell, she's the witch of greed. So basically, she would have to give up. He would have to give up everything. But she's essentially she's willing to give up everything too. And but one of the more interesting parts of this, I kind of skipped over this real quick. Sorry, I have to go backtrack a little bit. But before he goes to the tea party, he goes through one trial where it happens, Dougie. We're doing this live. No edits. One take, Willie. Oh, so anyways, during the trial, like we see Rim come up to him, and he's like, "Oh, Rim, is it you?" And she's like, "Yeah, Subaru, it's me." And she starts telling about like, "Don't worry, Subaru, I'll take care of you. You can just give up from here. You can just lean everything on me." And Subaru's like, "Nah, that doesn't sound like Rim I know. She'll give me encouragement, but she'll tell me to get up and walk on my own 2 feet. So who the hell are you?" And that turns out to be actually the Witch of Lust, Carmilla. And so of course, she says like, "Hey, Kinda put me up to it." So, and then that's where we get to the tea party. But anyways, like one by one, the witches show up, and we get a new witch that we haven't seen yet, Sekhmet, which is actually an Egyptian god. Let's see here. I believe Sekhmet. I think it's the lioness god. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look it up. But I think it's the goddess that has like a lion head. But in here, she looks more like lizard-like, mostly because she's laying on her side and she has long purplish pink hair. It kind of looks like a tail to me. And she's the witch of the oh my god, she's the witch of sloth. So we get 6 witches all here. Every single one of them, even the witch of gluttony, pride, wrath, all of them are here, and they're all waiting to see what would happen. And so after pretty much telling Subaru what he would have to do, he says, well, uh, realizes that this is actually going to be a really bad deal for him. Like, I mean, he would gain a lot, but it's like the kind of thing where, like, you know, uh, it's more or less like you gain the world, but you lose your soul. You know, it's not really worth it. You know, you know, what's the use of gaining the world if you lose your soul doing it? So he says, "Well, I have one question for you, and this will, impact on whether or not I take the contract. Um, and that is, you know, Beatrice." And she's like, "Yeah, I know her." Um, and I believe she says something like she created her, and then she says that basically the whole thing about her waiting for that right person to um, to free her is basically just it's nothing. It's whoever she wants it to be. And so basically she's been held there by her own insecurities in the library. Beatrice has been waiting for the right person, but she doesn't know who, and it won't tell her who. So she's always afraid of ending her contract, but it could be anybody she wants. That's the cruel joke of it. So she's been waiting for 400 years, and didn't really have to, which pisses Subaru off. As you can imagine. I kind of made me. I was like, "Damn, that's cold." And he's like, "Well, you really are a witch." And then he he gets real pissed at the witch agreed, and she's kind of loses her smile, and she's just like, "Yeah, I've had enough of this crap. My patience is running thin with you." And well, uh, basically, season two ends on a pretty good cliffhanger. It ends with basically darkness coming over all the witches' tea party there, and everyone starts like going, "Uh-oh, she's here." And then, like, it's so cute, like the witch of lust. She's like, "Oh, please, I had nothing to do with this. Don't do anything to me." And they're like, "Oh yeah, Tella's coming," which is like, I guess, like a pet name for Stella. And yeah, slowly making her way is the looming shadow of the witch of envy. And she starts walking towards the group, and she has like they do like a close up of like her face. You can see her like from her mouth down, and she's got like a smile on her face. And that's how season two ends. No answers. We haven't resolved anything. Um, yeah, like my my worst fears were realized that we would not get anything done, and I figured that we wouldn't. Honestly, there's so much crap, but fear not, fear not, because Old Caster has some answers for you. I did do a little bit of research after watching this episode, and come to find out that yes, there will be a season three. But what's even better, Ducky, is that season two is not completely over. This is season two, part one. There will be a season two, part two coming up really shortly. And I believe it is said that it will be in January of 2021. So I mean, at the time of this video, it's September, like late September. So October, November, December. So 3 more months, and we get a whole new season. So I mean, yeah, it sucks, but hey, at least we don't have to wait 4 years for another one. And it is confirmed that we will get a season three. And that might be later on, right after that. So I think season three might actually start right after season two. Yeah, sometime in like March of next year, right around the time it was supposed to this year, before the whole pandemic. No, excuse me, before the whole pandemic came in and threw a monkey wrench in everybody's plans. Oh, ducky, ducky, ducky. But the Blu-rays will be available also pretty shortly. I'm not sure when, but you can look on the internet and Google it. It's pretty easy. Oh, but anyways, Ducky, I again, I just want to thank everybody, and I am just so grateful from the bottom of my heart for everybody who has stuck by and gave me encouragement and who's liked the videos and everyone who's commented. I thank you. I thank you very much. Your likes and comments and your subscriptions, they really give me the confidence to keep going. To tell the truth, I actually halfway through my series here, I kind of thought, what does it matter? Should I keep doing them? And I thought, you know what? Nope. You know, to quote Ant-Man 2, you put a dime in the jukebox, you got to finish the whole song. So I thought, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to finish this, at least for my subscribers' sake, but also for my sake. So, and I am so glad I did. And I thank each and every one of you who has not subscribed and watched, and who has subscribed and watched. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you would please like and subscribe and share the video if you think it's any good. And please leave a comment. And most importantly, stay safe and be good to each other.